Welcome to part 2. Sorry about the horrendous noise in the background. My girlfriend's watching The Voice. Well, try to ignore it. We'll land on the moon. Go to resume flight. Now, it's going to take 1 day, 4 hours and 8 minutes to reach the Apoapsis. I'm not going to wait that long, and my guess is neither are you, so let's speed up time. Alright, we're getting pretty close to the surface of the moon, so let's burn retrograde. Let's see if we can't get into orbit. Turn this beast again. Here's the moon. Mun, my bad. This isn't the Sol system, it is the Kerbin system. So I'm actually not sure what they call their solar system. I do want to get a little closer to the moon before I burn retrograde. Still got plenty of fuel, so I have that luxury. Time to switch to the transfer stage as my orbit stage just ran out. Engage. This engine won't overheat with this fuel tank that's on it, so go ahead and full throttle it. Forget orbit, we'll just land this. Where do we want to land? Find us a nice, relatively flat spot. Let's land in that crater, or nah. Might not get much sunlight in there. I mean, obviously I'll get sunlight, but the days might be shorter as it's surrounded by crater rim, which would affect the intake of my solar panels. Since I didn't put batteries on this thing, I can't hold that much electricity, so. Since there's no atmosphere on the moon and it's low gravity, I don't have to retract my solar panels or anything because they won't get destroyed entering any atmosphere because there is no atmosphere. I know I said I don't save scum, but just for the sake of not having to remake this video, I will. Quick save. I am going to start slowing my descent. I don't want to end up in a position where I'm going too fast to slow down in time and then end up crashing into the moon. Minimus has less gravity, so it's much easier to land on. The moon is a little bit more challenging. It's harder to get into orbit in Minimus because it has less gravity, but it's easier to land on. It takes a lot less fuel and it's easier to leave too. It's a lot easier to get out of the sphere of influence. Speed up time again. Get a little closer. I always point retrograde when I'm landing because when you're landing you want to be going straight up and down. You don't want to have any horizontal movement. I swear that never works for me. Now I need to drop this transfer stage before I land because I can't land on it. 21,000 meters. I'm falling. I'm going to land facing the sun. I didn't put lights on this thing. I want to be able to see what I'm doing, so I'm going to land with my ladder facing the sun. Speed up time again. That should be the last time I have to speed up time. Aiming this thing is a pain. I'm going to go ahead and drop the transfer stage. There's still some fuel left in it, but you don't always land at 0 meters. That's just sea level. My altitude for sea level of the moon, even though there's no sea on it. Now I'm going practically straight down. I'm going to be going about 8, 9. There goes the transfer stage. Hey, some of it survived, it bounced. think it's gonna land. It's probably gonna float around in space for a good long while. You want to be going at least under 10 meters per second when you land. I try to get as close to 1 or 2 as possible. It's hard to do because as you burn fuel, it changes the weight of your spacecraft, affecting the acceleration and deacceleration. It was a little shaky, but I landed it. Turn off the RCS and the SAS, collect some science. Yeah, I don't know why I brought a barometer to the moon when there's no atmosphere. But maybe where I land on Kerbin, I could get some science there, because there is an atmosphere. Let's get a surface sample. Little Jebediah Kerbin here, he's happy to be on the moon. Send him on an EVA. He's not very good at getting off his spaceship, as you can tell. Or walking, apparently. Now, how am I going to get back on my spaceship? The ladder doesn't reach the ground. Well, each Kerbal has RCS, which works in low gravity in his spacesuit. It's kind of a booger to work, but you'll get the hang of it. It's harder than it looks using a keyboard. Let's get back on board. Let's go back to Kerbin. Turn my RCS and my SAS back on. Throttle up. Still got plenty of fuel. They could probably land somewhere else on the moon and gather more science from that site. As different sites give different types of biomes, give different. Well, it's a dead planet. There aren't really any biomes, but you know what I mean. In a crater, in the highlands, in the lowlands, stuff like that. Y'all have their own science to obtain. But just to save time, I'm taking this back to Kerbin. When you land on Kerbin, it's generally not a good idea to re-enter the atmosphere at a 90-degree angle, going, you know, 4,000 meters per second. The atmosphere will slow you down, but not that much. So you want to do what's called aerial braking. Which I'll show you what that is here momentarily. Alright, in order to reduce your orbit, you need to burn retrograde, which is point opposite the direction you're going in, and slow yourself down. Alright, all this over here with the mun, I'm ignoring because once I hit this point, I'm landing on Kerbin. I'm not going to continue on around and go to the moon again. I just left the moon. I don't want to go there. I want to get my Kerbin periapsis around 29 will do it. That'll get me into the medium atmosphere. I might want to go a little lower since I'm landing. Right, now I've never really damaged my spacecraft upon entry into an atmosphere. Never had anything burn up or burn off on me, but just to be safe, I like to keep this landing stage as a heat shield itself. But I'm not going to do that this time. Look, it's a helicopter. Jebediah is loving it down there. Look at him. I'm not gonna puke at all. I'm gonna turn off my RCS and my SAS. I no longer need that as I'm effectively meteorite right now. Well, I still have what was going to be my return stage. I never had to use it. Well, I'm dropping it before I hit the atmosphere, but I'll use the thruster to slow myself down, probably. Just in case I'm gonna hit the ground going too fast. Sometimes if you're going too fast when your parachutes fully deploy, it'll rip the parachutes off. So. I hate landing on the dark side. Makes it hard to see anything. However, I will turn into a ball of fire here in a moment. Ooh, I need to retract my solar panels. I'll lose them. See here, I've entered the upper atmosphere. This will change. My orbit path, see it changing? It's slowing me down. I'm a meteorite. Yeah, 2,600 meters per second. If I was coming in straight down, I would have just made a hole in the ground and lost all the science I just worked for. I am well within safety speed, so I'm going to trap this stage and deploy my chutes for partial chute deployment for drag. Deploy my landing gear. My chute's fully deployed at 500 meters above ground, which, since I'm landing in the sea, it'll be at 500 meters. If the elevation of the land was 1,000 meters underneath me, 1,000 meters above sea level, they would fully deploy at 1,500 meters. This is a beautiful trip altogether. Lots of science, lots of research. Oh, and look, there's the Space Center. That's where I took off from. I'm landing literally 15 kilometers away from the launch pad. Completely unplanned. I mean, I meant to do that. Pure skill, yeah. Check that barometer. Heh, for science. Cover vessel. Look at that, 233 science. Anyway,